Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing one of my favorite sequels of all time, and that would be Robocop 2. Now on 4K, coming to us courtesy of Scream Factory. Now, I'm going to quickly show off the version that I got because I got the alternate art. So if you haven't seen the alternate art, I'm going to show that off real quick. We're going to talk about the video, the audio, the special features, and then kind of round it out with my opinion and if I think you should buy the film. So stick around for that. We have some great artwork from Devin Whitehead, who does fantastic artwork for Scream Factory. All of his Chucky artwork is incredible. Everything I've ever seen of his is super rad. So I'm excited that he was able to do Robocop 2. Now here is the standard art that you get. Front and back, nothing too exciting. The one thing I will say about this release, which I haven't noticed, let me know down in the comments below if you've noticed this with this release or any prior ones. This is a new case. These are not the same cases that I am used to getting. Now, a lot of times I do get steelbooks from them, so the last couple releases I have gotten have been steelbooks, but still, this is a different case. This is a harder case than what they do, and it's a lot nicer and sturdier than anything I've seen Scream Factory put out before. So that is very exciting to see that maybe they are changing their case and not doing those cheaper cases like they normally do. So I don't know if I'm alone in this or if this has been happening for the last couple releases, but let me know down in the comments below if you know anything about that. I know that's a random thing, but I noticed it. And whenever Scream Factory does something right, I do want to point it out because so many people, have so many knocks against them. And I personally have the same thing where I wish they did more. I project a lot of what I want Scream Factory to do rather than meeting them kind of where they're at and what they're going to do. But I am excited for this release and it did not disappoint. Now, let's get into the video. So this is a new 4K scan from the 35mm camera negative, and it looks fantastic. So the grit and the grain are all intact here. Now, there was a very high bar to kind of live up to because Arrow did the Robocop 4K, and I think the Robocop 4K looked fantastic, and this is on par with that. I think visually, this film is very similar to that, even though Paul Verhoeven did not do this film. It was Irvin Kershner. Hey, you got to get a backup hitter. Mr. Kershner's not a bad guy to go with. The story was by Frank Miller, and the screenplay was also by Frank Miller. So I really like the tone of this movie, kind of keeps that. Peter Weller, of course, is fantastic as always. We got Nuke on the streets, and everybody wants Robocop to be gone. They need Robocop, but they want him gone also. The big question I have too, before we continue, is where's the third one? I wish they had kind of done, I don't wish they had done this, but I think it would have been better suited to them if they could have gotten the rights for the third one, if they had done like a double pack of the second and third one, kind of like Arrow's doing with like the rest of the Psycho films, where they're like, hey, you got the first one, but here's the remainder of them. Maybe they're gonna kind of done a 2 and a 3. We don't need the remake, so you can keep that crap out of there. But I think if we had gotten the third one, it would have been pretty rad. I'm not the biggest fan of that movie, but for completion's sake, it would have been nice to kind of have the second and third one, or I wish they could have even gotten the rights for the first one and done all 3 of them. That would have been cool too, but I already got my 4K of Robocop, so I'm not gonna complain about that. Now, let's get into the audio front. This is a DTS Master Audio HD 5.1 track and a 2.0 track as well. Now, this is my one complaint with a lot of these Scream Factories. This one in particular, more so than the other ones. The horror stuff, you can kind of take or leave if it has like a different track than what you normally are used to, but I would have loved to see them do an Atmos track for Robocop 2. I think it would have been rad. I think it would have sounded fantastic, but we did not get that, unfortunately. We do not get typically new tracks from Scream Factory. The only time we get it if it goes to like a 5.1 and it was like a 2.0 track, or it's something along those lines where it's just going up to like a stereo track. We typically have not gotten Atmos tracks from them. Now, we do occasionally get them, but they're not in the line of doing that, which, I mean, I get it. I get it's a lot of undertaking and sometimes it's wasted and you really don't get a lot out of it. I don't want a track to be there if it's gonna add nothing. I think Robocop 2 could have really benefited from having a badass Atmos track, but that's wishful thinking. I don't think we're ever gonna get that, but it would have been awesome. It would have been super cool. Anyway, let's get into the special features that we've got here. We do have one new audio commentary, which I think is super cool. It's from the guys who did the documentary, and I really love that documentary. I think everything that Screambox has done with those documentaries, from the It one to the Chucky one to the RoboDoc one, are all fantastic. That steelbook is awesome, so as a collector, if you have that steelbook, I think it's fantastic. If you don't, you should try to pick it up. I know it's kind of relatively expensive now, but I think you can get the original version for pretty cheap, and that's a great documentary. I also recommend the Robocop Rogue City game. I think it's got its little quirks, but it is a great story in the Robocop world. Peter Weller is great in that, so if you like video games, I think that's a highly recommend if you can get that on sale. But anyway, let's rattle off the rest of these special features. So the remaining ones are, we got that RoboDoc, you know, also on the Blu-ray. We've got Corporate Wars, the making of Robocop 2, Machine Parts, the effects of Robocop 2, RoboFabricator, OCD Declassified, and adapting Frank Miller's Robocop 2. You've got some trailers and TV spots, and then also some images and galleries as well, per usual. So overall, I think this package is pretty great. I would recommend getting the alternate art. I don't normally like condone getting 12 slip covers, you know, in your collection, but I think this artwork is just so much better than the standard art that I recommend this. Like I said, I do have the posters. I'm not gonna do anything with them. I'm gonna be moving pretty soon, so I might be able to have some more room for my Scream Factory posters. I have a couple of them up, but I have to pick and choose very selectively which ones are up. So Robocop 2 might get a coveted space. I don't know, we'll have to find out when I move. I might maybe do a video of like my new setup once I'm moved and like settled in anyway. I haven't done a collection video in a long time. Maybe I'll do one of those. I will do it very differently than I did. I might film it because when I move, everything will obviously have to come off the shelves. So I might film it then because I can have everything in stacks as opposed to like going by shelf, because I think that's a little jarring. But I might do something where I'm actually just showing them off. So I know I'm rambling on about collection videos. Anyway, let me know down in the comments below, are you picking up Robo 2? What is your favorite Robocop? And are you excited for anything else that Scream Factory is doing? I'm super excited for Bill and Ted Trilogy coming out on 4K. That is awesome. That is super rad. I'm super excited for that. And then also UHF is coming out from Shout Factory. I'm excited for that. Species 2 is also coming out. It should be out soon as well. I didn't pick that up. I'm not the biggest Species fan, so that's not something that I was gonna get. I also own the Blu-rays of those and the VHSs of those and DVDs of those movies. I don't really think I need Species 2 on 4K. I didn't buy the first Species on 4K. Maybe down the line when it gets cheaper, I'll buy it, but I don't think I need to spend $40 on Species 2 because we know what that movie is there for. I'm gonna link some videos for you at the end. As always, if you like what we do here, consider becoming part of the collective, and I will talk to you guys in my next 4K review.